What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Pass the Message, real talk, relevant life hacks for you to learn, apply, and share with your social circles. I'm your friend Jeff, and I know I've been gone a little bit. It's been a lot. If you ain't seen how outside has been over the past month and change, yeah, I had to tend to some other things and make sure our people were all right, and it's just been a lot. But I've been gone for a minute, and I'm back, not with the jump off, but with a special guest. Yes, every guest is special. I know every guest is special, but this one is an extremely special guest. She is a screenwriter. She is a YouTube creator. We've been known to key on the Grapevine set every now and again. She has content on Amazon Prime. She may be wealthy on the low. I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't be in people's pockets because I am not a Fed. This is JustLatasha. What's going on?
Wait, that was the most fire intro I ever heard in my life.
It better be, shoot.
that was a great intro, friend. Thank you.
You got it. How you doing today?
I am super good. I am leaning into rest. But I got to show up for your show. Very important content right here. You got a message, you got an intention, you got a purpose.
Speaking of message, I just saw the notification come in. She's on it with the content. I'm already on her IG story. I already saw it. And I was natural because I saw her filming. And I was like, all right, we getting the content off. Whatever.
You see it.
So we're going to get into you, man. I've seen you create so much, but I feel like we need to get into the person behind the content. So I am very eager to do that. I'm not in your business. I'm just trying to find out what the business is. It's a difference.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be sharing the business I would like y'all to know, so that's fine.
That's a tagline right there. I'll tell you that much. So give us your 30-second elevator pitch if somebody asks who JustLatasha is.
JustLatasha is a media personality and screenwriter. I have 2 seasons that I wrote and produced of Sit Black and Relax on Amazon Prime. And I'm also the founder of a Black indie film creative hub called Aurora TV.
That was succinct. There's no way you could be like, what did she do? Because she just told you. She just told you, man. She just told you. And this is somebody I've been on a few of your shows. I've consumed her content. There's a lot we're gonna get into. I'm happy you're here. First of all, I'm happy you're here. You're happy you're doing the show. I feel like there's a lot that people can learn about you. Let's dive right in. Take me through your YouTube journey. How did you go from whatever you were doing to having over 40,000 subscribers now? Is that what we're doing?
Dang, you kind of doubled it, but one day.
Oh, you're 20K.
I'm at 20,000 subscribers. But you know what? I'm glad that you see the optimism in my work. Because we are going to get there one day, absolutely.
Oh, this is a manifestation. This is a manifestation show. So what I said was not a mistake. It was foretelling.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is prescience. You feel me?
I bet you say that to all the ladies.
All right. Can you please tell me your journey, please, ma'am?
All right, so YouTube was actually my second media platform. It came right after my interview platform called Dope Files. I did that for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
With Dope Files, I interviewed indie talent in fashion and music, which then branched off into celebrity and covering New York and Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week seasons and being backstage and doing all that. But we hit, as Black folks, our first wave of a revolution in our generation, and that was with the death of Trayvon Martin, followed by Mike Brown, and then Tamir Rice, and then all these countless Black people slain by police brutality. And I was like, I really do want to do entertainment, but I want to do something more intentional, and I found like a newfound Black rage, and I was angry at white people. I was like, I need to like say something.
Right.
And so what a perfect way to do that than to serve a blog on YouTube, Black women yelling at you on screen.
So how were you able, okay, let's take you saw a need. You saw pain in the world, our pain as Black people being exhibited through unjustified murders and killings and racism, and you felt that was your time to speak out. Have you always been outspoken like that?
I think that was the first time I catered my work for my community. I think Dope Files, in every sense of it, was very self-serving. And that was for myself and for the guest. I didn't like, after a while, I didn't like all the fronting on the interviews, like you're the coolest guy and you're selling little things. And I'm just like, I don't care. There was a point where I'm just like, I don't care about this. Like there was a necessity to represent and make and be a voice for just the troubles that were happening in our community, and I just couldn't sit by and just try to be famous. Like I felt like I needed to use my voice for a reason.
Right. So take us through the early steps of YouTube. One of the things I've seen from a lot of creators, and when you talk about creators and their stories, is how they reflect on the first videos that they ever shot and created. How do you reflect on that?
I would like to delete, sir. I would like to delete all of them. I the number one rule on YouTube is just like you do one thing and you do it until your channel is done. And I just never followed that rule, which is like what lends to my channel growing so slowly. It's just like I had no direction. I didn't know what it was about. I had games, I had makeup, I had hair, I had black rage, I had just like a sprinkle of everything. And I'm sure that confused the hell out of the audience. So it was a mess. I'd rather not look back at the older videos. I was
Okay.
trying to like be funny and do skits, and it was a mess. Yeah. So that's over.
How did you, well, I feel like you kind of still do a variety. You still have a lot of diversity on your page, but it's all centralized in you and your personality. So everything that you do, it makes sense because it's coming from your creative mind. It's coming from your spirit. It's like that's not off brand for her because this is the person that she is. How did you find that direction?
I found the common thread to where even if I'm doing different things, it comes back to the love of Blackness and love of Black art. So I do have my Dissection series that I do live. When Insecure was out, I would do it live every Monday. Now we're doing I May Destroy You by Michaela Cole. That's live every Tuesday. And on Thursdays, I do like the biggest Black topic of the week. And it serves for the love of Blackness, for the protection of Blackness. I'm speaking about different topics. Even if I'm speaking about a TV show, the topic still comes back to love or feminism or protecting yourself in relationships versus that big topic I would do for Thursday Nightly, my live Thursday night show. It'll still come back to how do we love each other? How do we protect each other? How do we accept each other? And I can thread those into Black love.
Black love. It sounds like a common thread that we should all have, especially our people. That we should all have. So let's get into your dissection series. I'll say this. This is no cap, not because we're friends and we've known each other for a minute, probably like a couple of years now, right? It's been at least two.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you could do worse. First of all, you could do worse with people that you know. Your insecure recaps, they both inspire and offend me, and they offend me because as some of you know that's followed my journey, I did the Power After Hour recaps for Power for seasons 2 through 6, I think it had. And we had a lot of fun, but and we went to like level 3. You go to like level 30 with it, and you incorporate that director's eye, the discernment for those specific details and framings and the methodology behind the art. How did you develop that eye?
Yeah, because I am also a screenwriter, I've done a ton of study on filmmaking. I had to produce 2 seasons of my own web series. I'm gearing up to produce a third called JustLatasha's Interactions, and I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. So I've done a ton of reading. I've watched a ton of videos. I keep writing to like work that muscle. And so when you have the knowledge from the study of how do you make a TV show, certain things start to pop out at you like as patterns now. Like I know the structure of this show. I know the color theory of this show. I know why these actors are blocked in this way to better tell the story and give a visual layer to what's like what you're watching. And so I love, the content creators that do their reviews, their recaps, and I think that's a very valuable lane. People want to hear other people's or their favorite creators' opinions of what had happened, and let's break that. We be arguing about Insecure on Twitter all the damn time.
All the time.
So there's definitely value in that. But there's also a saturation in that. I wanted to give you a recap, but how can I make this a unique experience? I have a level of information that you're not going to find in many creators, and that just completely set me apart. And the audience that I was able to grow and cultivate and get to know personally. I know so many of them now. We have a really good time, and people tell me all the time that they're watching TV with a completely different outlook now. Like they can see the layers that, they've learned from watching my Dissection series.
What made you want to pick Insecure? Because if I'm
Insecure.
Okay, you're right.
I mean, what a fire show! No, what a fire show by a fire creator, who I'm definitely day to day inspired by. I'm like, every time I wake up, I'm like, what would Issa Rae do? How would she use this day? And I think the way the Black directors were able to use color schemes, use their clothes, they're so detailed, and the everyday TV viewer wouldn't see these little details, right? But someone who like really studies it and can pick those out. Insecure just has like a top tier way of like layering the storytelling.
How much of your dissections are art, your opinion, and things that you interpret based on what you see versus science, the technical knowledge that you've learned?
Is that a math question? Is that a percentages question?
It may be a percentages question, yes. But there's an easy way you can answer it. I ain't gonna tell you how because I need my people to get the answer, but it's a level 1 math question, yes.
Oh man.
And we could do absolutes, like most of it is this, half of it is this, a part of it is this, if that helps.
I'm trying to like maybe if I can pick like a specific happening on a TV show.
Like when you do the color schemes of what they're wearing and what is in the background and the door is open, so that means that they're exiting their life. Like that type of shit. I'm like, damn, I thought the door was just open. How do you get to that? Like what part of that is what you learn versus what you interpret based on what you learn?
Okay. I'm gonna say, and this is a totally made up percentage.
Yeah,
I'm
why
gonna say
not?
70% is the science of filmmaking. Colors mean things. And if you have a scene with two people falling in love and having noodles at a cafe, you wouldn't use the color red because the red will excite your audience and they're waiting for something to happen. And they don't even realize, actually had my friend ask me that, like, do you think everyday people like get that from like what you're saying and breaking down? Would they even pick that up? And it's psychology. Like blue feels very cool, red feels exciting and passionate or angry. Orange feels a little optimistic. Yellow feels optimistic. That's just psychology and the science of color. So if you're trying to emote through a film, it's the same way you would use music. If it's suspense, you will have that dark violin going behind the scenes, right? And you just, as an audience member, feel that. Versus if a character is wearing stripes. Through study of film, they could just be wearing stripes, but I don't ever think a character's just wearing stripes. Usually stripes and vertical lines, horizontal lines, whether it's in the setting, whether it's in the fashion, it's supposed to feel, contracting. It's supposed to feel like limited and imprisoning. And if you pair that with what the character is actually going through, the stripes match the story and the emotional state. So it all breaks down kind of that way.
Yeah, I think it's an experience to watch your live interactions. And I did not even mean that as a pun. That's so just crazy. It's like your thing. That's the subconscious. That's the subconscious element that you were talking about before. It's like when something's in your subconscious, it's gonna come out at the right time and it's gonna affect you and you don't know. It's an experience, right? Because first, watching Latasha versus technology is one of the greatest rivalries, and she's up in the series, but man, I'd be scared. Like I've checked whether or not this is actually recording 3 times.
No tracky.
No, I'm not dragging you, but you be getting it. You have it, but you just doubt yourself at times.
Yeah, I do, and I like to I like to show my mistakes to my audience. I mean, it makes you human at the end of the day, but also just like bear with me. I'm trying to elevate for y'all because throughout the majority of my insecure dissections, I was just like me on screen speaking to a camera, and people are like, "Can we see something? We need to know exactly what you're talking about. There's only so much I can describe," and so I had to figure out and learn and download. And I'm like,
the visuals elevated it. The visuals elevated it a lot. Like when you came with the presentation, I was like, oh, buckle up now. Buckle up. Buckle up.
Exactly. And they really enjoy it. And I go on for like an hour for a half-hour series, and which I'm sure scares off a lot of new audience, but I'm just gonna stick with it. And people are like, we want more. We could have went another 30 minutes. I'm like, another 30? We have things to do. I have something to do. But I to be on here an hour and a half.
Word. That's actually a good, you being a YouTube creator, this is actually a good perspective and conversation to have. Every platform has a different set of rules for engagement and philosophies, whether through analytics or through what you see, like your eye test of what works and what doesn't. And there's ongoing debate about the length of your content, whether you should focus on, as a creator in this era, quick clips or long form content. And we hear all the conversation about attention spans and blah, 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 right? Where do you fall on that? I mean, obviously as a YouTube creator, you don't fear long form content, but where do you think short form content may help you, or do you not think that way? Like, what's your perspective on the content length discussion?
If you are a new creator and if your videos are pre-recorded, meaning you record, you come back, you chop it up in your Final Cut Pro, what have you, and then you upload it, those should be 15 minutes max. Because people are not going to spend a long time on someone they don't know and just some random topic. Most of the things you would like to talk about could be handled in 15 minutes or less. And the YouTube platform actually makes that a rule. You actually can't upload a video longer than 15 minutes until you reach a certain amount of subscribers and watch time. Then YouTube opens that door and it's like, well, people like you, so maybe you should be here longer. And speaking of that, YouTube wants to keep their audience on YouTube, right? So they actually encourage you to make long form videos. And for me personally, switching from the pre-recorded format to live format, it's completely changed my channel. It's completely changed my engagement. It's completely changed my relationship with people. It went from, all right, I only got 600 views. Like everybody was just numbers. And now they're like, it's people. They're talking to me in real time. I know them by name.
Word.
They follow me around, and it's become like a real intimate room that I've created. And I really know these people well. So my long form videos are necessary for the dissection series because it's like a classroom. You're going through a bunch of detail and you have to follow the format of the show, and you have to have like the live chat with your people. So that's going to take some time.
Word.
And because I make it like a very call and response, it just adds a layer for the audience to like, I'm a part of this video. I'm not just watching and clicking and like they're a part of this experience and they make this experience. So with that, YouTube loves the hour format. They throw a ton of ads in my videos, and I'm trying to figure out how to cut them down. But that's pretty much how it works for me.
What's the first YouTube milestone you celebrated?
500 subscribers. I made a whole video about it. I had a green screen with a champagne toast background, and I watched my old videos cringing. Oh my God, it looks nice. This video was terrible. Am I right? So that was it. And then I think I celebrated 10K too. Okay.
What is some advice you could give to YouTube creators on how to grow your channel? If it's one piece of advice you could give.
Consistency. You have to have a schedule and be consistent. Same time, same place, week after week after week after week after week.
Does Nefertiti have a mask on in your background?
Half of her face is cut off and the bottom half is a skull.
Well, from here, sister, I see your mask. I see you are in solidarity with us wearing a mask, sister. Even if that mask is your skull, I know that it will not penetrate. The diseases will not penetrate your skull because you are protected by eternal comedian blackness. So
we are virus.
So talk to me.
Sick, hon.
That's good advice. That is good advice that you gave about consistency. I feel like that's one of the things that for me, it's difficult because it's easy to get frustrated with this. Whether you know something like this platform where it's reliant heavily on guests and you got to schedule and you got to do all that. When you're a one person operation, it can be difficult to maintain that enthusiasm, and then anything in real life happens, you get thrown off for a while, and you know you may lose that consistency. So what is a piece of advice you would give to a creators to keep them motivated, whether they run into any roadblocks or any type of difficulty? How did you stay motivated?
Do you want to lay down right now more than you want to succeed? And Jeff, I'm actually going to yell at you because you have more than enough network to have your show weekly. So that's on you to get your ass up to the damn show.
I need this. Keep going.
So I actually don't even want to hear it from your ass because you are very capable. You're way more than capable. It's just a matter of you deciding that I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to do my show.
I mean, you'll drag me. You know, I'm not above getting dragged, yo. I need that. This is the type of inspiration. This is one of the reasons why I do this show, ironically, is to inspire people to do things and to live and to realize their full potential. That is probably my tragic flaw as a creative, is that for all the motivation that I have when it's going good, it's not like it gets deflected. It's really my real tragic flaw is boredom. When it gets consistent, I'm just like, I need to do something new. Maybe I need to buy a new mic. Maybe I need to put digital backgrounds. Maybe I need a presentation in a slide deck. Like, I don't know. It's that thirst for unnecessary innovation. When it's, you know, get to a point where it's like, okay, now we can try something different. You don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. And that's something that I always have to tell myself.
Yeah, or I mean, it could be as simple as adding a new segment to the show. Like, I know that feeling when like you've done something a million times, you're like, okay, like what else? It could be a small tweak where it's just something within the show has to change, or however you find it, but you don't want your product to not be reliable for your audience.
No, that's real.
Like once you tell them to not keep up with you, they'll be like, heard you. All right, I'll go somewhere else.
That's real. That's real. It's 100% real. So before we close out this part of the segment, tell us about interactions. Why does that excite you? Why does that spark your creativity?
JustLatasha's Interactions is a comedy sketch series that I'm going to produce whenever the Rona is done, whenever she passes through. And it's really exciting for me because this is a way I haven't like stretched myself before. Like whenever I've done scripted work, I was always the writer and producer. Whenever I'm on camera, it's unscripted, interview format, blog format, X, Y, and Z. Interactions is the first time where I'm doing on camera scripted work. I've never acted before. I've never memorized pages and pages of lines. So I'm terrified. I welcome it. This is a whole new ball game for me. And I'm working with a ton of my personal friends. Dustin Ross from The Friend Zone, Manny B from Horrible Decisions, Jameer Pond from Cocoa Butter, Decent from Pop Dust, and more. I see y'all requests. I see y'all wanting to be in the show. Don't worry, I got the email. But it's gonna be a mixed format between improv and scripted work, and I'm just allowing me and my friends to be funny and tell a story. So I'm excited. Okay. That's Interactions.
I can see it. Just Latasha's Interactions. Is there anything about your YouTube journey that you would do differently?
I would be consistent with the type of videos I made from day one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why you say that?
That's the biggest change. I've spent so many years like wondering like, why am I not getting more subscribers or bigger views? Because it's like, man, you're confusing everybody. What is this channel about? Why are we here? Like Jackie Aina can't do makeup one day, gaming on Tuesday, feet picking on Thursday, babysitting kids Friday, and dating a white man Sunday, you're going to be like, what is this channel about? Like, what are we doing here? She gives you makeup every single time. You pick one thing, you beat your audience over the head with it.
Mm-hmm. And keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, Latasha just gave you the in and outs, a crash course in YouTube and her own experiences. So I think you should have at least a certain foundation. I know I can't say anything anymore. I can't say no type of shit because she already dragged me. And if I don't come back with mad content, I'm going to hear it from her. And then she's going to tell the friends, and the friends are going to come in and drag me. It's going to be a community dragging. So it's through love. So I appreciate that. But now we gonna get into some more knowledge with you. This is the part that I like. And this is what the show is predicated on. Are you ready?
No.
That means yes. So first off, tell me about one skill that you possess in your field that you feel anybody can utilize and benefit from, and why.
One skill that I have?
It could be technical, it could be personal, something that you have, a transferable skill that a content creator and a construction worker can both use to be better in their daily life and to improve.
That's not how I understood that question. Okay.
How'd you understand it?
What I thought the question was,
Mm-hmm.
was like, what do you know that other people should know? Now, what skill do you have that other people can
Use.
have? Yeah.
It's a little foreshadowing though, but answer that question first.
Other people can use. Damn, bro, I was not prepared for this. Okay.
Well, you've already said one thing multiple times that I feel like you have. I'm not, once again, this is not an open book test. If you want to phone a friend,
answer my interpretation of what I thought the question was.
Girl, how you switching up on my own topic?
I'm gonna switch the question because this is not okay. My only thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
What I do that I feel separates me from a lot of the creators that are saturating spaces right now.
Word.
Is that I take the time to learn the craft. I think it's insulting when people think they should have fame and careers and they should get on because they want to. Mm. Do you know what you're doing? Do you have solid knowledge of your craft? Are you learning from people who have done it successfully? Are you expanding your skill set? Why do you want the audience to come to you specifically? What do you have to offer? It's not you diving into random people and saying that they should follow you. No, what are you providing them that is of value that they can take home and use? If you cannot answer that question, you are weakening the integrity of the industry, and I'm kind of starting to resent it. It's bothering me. It's upsetting me and my homegirl. it very much is.
So I would say then that transferable skill is being studious.
Being studious.
And being studious, being dedicated to your craft and actually learning. And I think that's something important that you said, because a lot of people, that's the problem with quote unquote raw talent, because hard work can defeat raw talent more often than not, because the raw talent rests on their laurels and doesn't learn the skills to take their raw talent to that God level. So once you rest on it, you're sleeping on everybody else, right? So I think being studious and learning, if it's one thing this coronavirus quarantine thing has been a benefit for me, is that I've been on my own enlightenment journey, just reading and learning about a lot of different stuff, not just my craft, because my craft, learning helps my craft, right? Like speaking and talking on camera and doing all those things. So you answered the question correctly, ma'am. Oh, not correctly, but you answered it. You answered it in your way. No, I mean, because it isn't a right or wrong. It's your experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to be, words have power. So that's what it is. Next, the titular question of that relates to the show. What is a lesson that you've learned, or some lesson, or some words of wisdom, or anything that you were taught from someone else that you still use to this day and that you pass on to other folk?
You are already everything that you needed.
Oh, you better affirm me. You better break that down, sister.
A lot of us, especially in this creative space, we're waiting for outside influences to validate us.
Mm-hmm.
If I get to this level, then I'm good. If I make this amount of money, then I'm good. If Charlemagne comes on my show, then I'm good. If I do X, Y, and Z, if this other thing comes into my life, then I'm what I want to be. Then I'm successful. And that's not true. And I think a lot of times, because we're waiting on an outside influence to say, you belong here, you maneuver your craft and those rooms, you maneuver pre-defeated.
Word.
And that's you robbing yourself. That's you robbing yourself of your life, of your value. Especially, it happens to a lot of us. It happens to me too. When I be in the room and I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I belong here. And it's like, ma'am, you're in the room. Like, what? If you weren't quote unquote allowed to be here, they would have let you in. But you here, and there's nothing more that you have to prove to yourself or bring to yourself, because you're that already.
I love that so much. Another reason why I started this show was self-care, for lack of a better term, because I think that's something that has been important, just that focus on taking care of ourselves and elevating ourselves in that way. What's one way that you take care of yourself, whether it's through mind, body, or soul?
I'm a slut, I'm a hoe, I'm a freak for rest. I like to shut things down. I like to lay down. I like to play video games. I like to just not be worried about the next task. And as an ambitious Virgo queen, I love tasks. I love to-do lists. I love to keep going. And I'm often finding myself in spaces of burnout. And I'm just tired and I haven't prepared myself properly because I haven't rested. So those have been very, very, very intentional.
Okay. Yeah, I am definitely down with big rest energy. Trust me. Big rest energy is
a lay down is good.
Yeah. So finally, a little quick kiki before we leave. I have a fill in the blank for you, since you like to play games. You're the game master. So I got a little I got a little messing around that we got right now. So I'll ask you a couple and then we can get out of here. First, this is a good one. If you don't listen to Blank's music, we can't be friends.
Beyonce, next.
I'm not even going to ask why, because there's not enough bees in the world worth my comment section.
We will stay.
And I am a member of the Hive. So, please be gentle. If you haven't seen or read Blank, you need to see or read Blank ASAP. I had to check my English. So for you, Miss Dissection, I'm sure you read also, but I think I'll say see. If there's any show or movie that you've seen that you think other people need to see.
Book of Eli.
I like Book of Eli.
By you. Book of Eli.
Why?
A movie that didn't make a disabled Black man or God look stupid. You empowered all of it. I think that was really cool. And you dragged the greed and the power of humankind using something that can be spiritually enlightening to harm and control. And then that Black man going around cutting people's hands off, just destroying everything, pure violence, doing whatever the fuck he wanted. Incredible.
I have a theory that Denzel's character in Book of Eli and Lonzo from Training Day are the same person.
Okay. All right.
I told you it was going to be some Fulio.
Pre-apocalypse, he was just a cop riding around bullying white
That's
boys.
why he was so upset at the end. Y'all going to do this to me. You don't know what I've been through. I just got my eyes back. You know, I know the laser eyes are on my head right now. I know the kufi is forming over my afro, but
then the spiritual woman and the film lover have met in one place, and that is the Book of Eli. I fucking love it.
Love it, love it. Latasha, we did it.
That was it?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You helped restarting the show. Look at you. You dragged me about being late and using my network.
Season 3?
Huh?
So what season we on? Season 3?
I'm not even going to disrespect the audience by making this another season. We're starting with season 1. We just had production delays. But this is still season 1. This is still season 1. I gotta at least get to 10 episodes before I try to switch it up with another season. And I really don't even have the luxury to take a break as of now. Like, if I take another break, you know it's for good things. Put it to you like that. So, yeah, so we're still in season 1. This is going to be episode 6, the restart, you know, second half of the season. You see how I scratched? I actually had an itch, but it made me seem like I was frightened. But nah, we here. I'm confident. Shoot. But please, Miss Latasha, plug yourself. Let the people know where they can find you, etc., etc.
Find me on YouTube live every Tuesday and Thursday. JustLatasha YouTube channel. See the full breadth of my work at JustLatasha.com. I'm on Instagram at JustLatasha, and I'm on Twitter at JustLatasha404.
How come you are not Just Latasha in both places?
Because there's a Black girl who hadn't used her account since 2012, and I've been hunting that account since then. And Twitter won't delete it, and she won't come online and read all of my DMs, and it's stuck. So
damn. Oh, we'll work on that. Let's see if we can work on that. I'll you know, we're gonna pass the message to Twitter to tell them to give her that name, Just Latasha, everywhere.
My
all right.
Account. Damn.
So I am thankful that you were on the show. I'm thankful that we got great content to restart this thing. And I'm thankful for everybody who listens, everybody who watches, everybody who sent support, and everybody who's gave me a kick in the ass to keep going, and including my therapist, including everybody. My therapist, she'd be like, "So what's up with your podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm saying it." And she's like, "Okay, guess what I want you to work on this week?" I'm like, "The podcast." But thank you. I appreciate it. I have so much love for that. And where you can find us, Pass Message Show on all social media, really Twitter and Instagram, because I'm not trying to do too much. Pass Message Show on YouTube. You can find all the episodes there and all the stuff that we're creating from there. I'm JeffJSays on all social also. And as always, remember, learning knowledge is good. Sharing it is even better. And it's really the best thing you can do, because rising tide lifts all boats, and we ain't going nowhere unless that wave is pushing us to prosperity. So thank you for joining us. And until next time, catch you later.